Number 10, scout the stat line, third baseman of 2024 is yet again another Milwaukee Brewer, Mike Boeve, age 22. Peak projection has him at a WRC plus of 117.4, a BA at 277, on base percentage at 350, a slug of 433, 17 home runs, 4 stolen bases, walk percentage at 9%, K percentage at 20%. Boeve in 2024 for Milwaukee split between two levels. Started the year off at high A, 13 games, batted just an average 553 on base percentage and 642. He was okay. No home runs, 1 stolen base. He then got the bump to double A, rightfully so. 66 games at double A. Batted 306 with a 374 on base percentage, a 447 slug, 6 home runs, 1 more stolen base. So speed is not in his profile either. 9% walk rate to a 17% strikeout rate. Doc, we have a hitter with no power, it seems like here.
Yeah, dude. And I see these from Hastings, Nebraska.
Yep.
And it's like exactly where you would think that Mike Boeve would be from. And the absolute, it's not near Lincoln, it's not near Omaha. It's the other part where nobody's from except for Mike Boeve and just like a whole and like Nebraska's an underrated state. I'll tell you what, man. It's got like red rocks out west. It's actually got like it's got Everglades in the northeast, and I'm serious, like a swamp. It's weird.
Are you okay? So are you familiar with when Boeve was drafted in 2023 in the second round by Milwaukee? He was taken out of Nebraska Omaha. I just assumed Nebraska Omaha was Nebraska, but it is not Nebraska. It's not the State College Nebraska. It is a secondary school. Are you familiar with both schools?
I don't know what you're talking. No, I don't know anything about Omaha.
Okay.
I've just driven through Nebraska, and I think it's an interesting state. I saw he's from there, which is random. There's not a lot of people from out there in the middle of Nebraska who come through and get to be on the Dynasty Dingers podcast, like Mike Boeve. Is that how you say his name?
Boeve. That's
Boeve?
how I say it, and that's how I've heard it said.
That's how you say it. Then it's definitely not right. Yeah. So this guy again. I want to guess his contact rate. So he had a 306 batting average at double A, 550. I bet you that's such a crazy number, man.
Crazy.
At high A, 553 batting average, 642 OBP. Unfortunately for fantasy, like this ain't playing, man. Like he's got no power. He's not running at all. If he plays great defense, like this could be a really useful utility guy that's not going to. He's going to help your race. He's going to get on base. He's going to be a real life guy. Maybe like how crazy is this to say? Boring Stephen Kwan, like I guess, yeah. Right? Like, so I'm gonna without looking at his contact, I'm gonna guess in high A he might have had like a 95 zone, like 90. It doesn't say zone, so 95. No, that's too crazy. But like 92, 95. I'll say 95 contact rate at high A. I'll guess, and then at double A, maybe he had like a 90. Let's take a look here.
You were close-ish. He's in elite contact numbers.
Oh, but these are not as crazy as I would have thought they would be.
No, they're not.
That's crazy. So it's interesting. I don't know. We'll have to see how he does.
His swinging strike percentage at high A in those 12 games was a 3.8. And then at double A, it was a 6.8.
Yeah,
so
that's too nerdy for me. Listen, I just learned about contact rates, guys. You can't just be coming at me with more stats.
It's hard because you talked about Kwan. I think a better comparison is probably a Luis Arias with a little bit less hit and marginally more power.
Maybe less power.
Yeah, I mean,
it's not like it's a weird profile.
It is a very weird profile, but he's still young. He's still under 23. So like, and he plays in Milwaukee. You talked about Great American Ballpark. The Reds are in the same division. Like, I could see him maybe getting to 15 home runs in a prime season. I'm not saying that's going to be a consistent, but like I could see him finding a way. He pulls the ball pretty well. Is at a 38.6% pull rate at double A. So I don't know. The problem is, does Milwaukee start him at third base over Luke Adams and Eric Bitonti? Maybe for a year, right? Because we know Milwaukee's had a third base wasteland for a while now, but like, what if Brock Wilken has a great start to the season? There's a lot of competition for Boeve.
Yeah, man. It's like, I wish the best for the guy. You know, he's the pride and joy of Hastings, Nebraska. I keep saying it. No, and so, you know, this is like, I just don't know what to make of him. He's certainly, you know, he's in the right organization full of boring guys. We'll see what happens. You know, I can't quite recommend going out to get him. He would not be my guy, but if he was available in round 56 of like our startup 30,
Should we look right now? You know, this might
I
as well be a.
guarantee. I
He's
guarantee
got to
you.
be gone. There's no
No,
way
of
he's
course he's
still on the
gone.
board.
No, if he's no, I know. I remember seeing him go. He went. This is exactly what I'm talking about. He went round 34, probably because of Scout the Stat Line. Sorry,
That's
guys.
crazy.
Should have waited for the podcast. That would be yeah. So, because yeah, I could see him like being high up there, and yeah, I don't know. You got. Although I will say, folks, so round 34. When we say that, just to be clear, our rookie round started in round 27. So that is like your 7th round. And so with 30 teams, it's not like super high, but out of 30 rounds, it's pretty high. So yeah, exactly. Where he's going, where frankly, probably guys like us, like Scout the Stat Line, our model, where we've gotten him, he's priced too high. So it's gonna have to come way down for me to be interested.
I mean, let's try to extrapolate this real quick just so that we can kind of put some context to it. Let's say Boeve played the entire season at AA. He only played 66 games there. So let's double it. 132 games, 12 home runs. You know, like there's 10 home run per season upside here. So, you know, that is better than Araya's. I mean, the projection is usable for fantasy. I just fear that he's more of a real life asset than he is a fantasy asset. If we're getting 17 home runs with a 277 average and a 350 on base percentage, like in a deep league, you know, maybe you have a middle infielder, maybe you have a corner and a utility, maybe you have 2 utilities. I think he plays in fantasy in that league, you know, say it's 16 to 20 team format, but you got to hit this projection. The 17 home runs are so key here because I do think 277 batting average is perfect online. Like everything we're seeing at the minor league with his hit tool seems like that's absolutely obtainable. The 17 at the major league level when he's not even pushing 12, that's hard to believe.
Yeah, not quite getting there. I mean, he had in this last year, he only had 6 home runs in 79 games, but not for me.
Yeah.